Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. A very sad event happened in the country. It shocked many people. A well-known man, Charlie Kirk, was killed. He was speaking at a university when it happened. This news made the whole country feel very sad and surprised. It was a day that many people would not forget. September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk was a public figure. Many thousands of people knew him. He was the founder of a big organization. This group shared ideas with young people. He traveled a lot and gave many speeches. He talked about important topics for the country. His work touched many lives. He was also a husband and a father to 2 young children. His family loved him very much. When news of his death spread, people felt deep sorrow. They wanted to show their respect. They wanted to remember Charlie Kirk and his life. So a very large memorial service was planned. It would take place in a big stadium in Arizona. This stadium could hold many thousands of people. It was a place where many could gather. People from all parts of the country began to prepare. They planned to travel to Arizona for the service. They wanted to stand with his family and friends. Important leaders also said they would come. The president and vice president would be there. This showed how important Charlie Kirk was to many. The memorial service would be a national event, a time for everyone to reflect. This book tells the story of Charlie Kirk. It will talk about his life, his work, and the ideas he believed in. It will also describe the day of his remembrance. That day was more than just a goodbye. It was a moment for the country to think. Our country sometimes has many different ideas. People can feel far apart. But this event, the loss of one man, brought many together. It showed a lesson. It taught us about unity, even in sorrow. It was a time when people could put differences aside. They came to remember a man who believed in his mission. His story is about the impact one person can have. It is about how a sad event can lead to a moment of shared reflection. This book will explore his journey, his farewell, and the powerful message it left for a country looking for common ground. 2. A sad event. The terrible news spread fast. On Wednesday, September 10, 2025, a sad event happened. Charlie Kirk, a well-known public figure, was shot and killed. This happened while he was giving a speech at Utah Valley University. The news traveled quickly across the country. Many people heard about it on television, radio, and the internet. They were shocked and very sad to hear what happened. It was a day many would remember. His wife, Erica Kirk, went to the hospital. She wanted to see her husband one last time. When she saw him, she noticed something special. His eyes were a little bit open. He had a small, gentle smile on his face. Erica thought he looked peaceful, like he had died happy. She felt that he was rescued, as if the bullet came, he blinked, and then he was in heaven. These were very difficult moments for her. She found comfort in his peaceful look, even in her deep sorrow. Immediately, people everywhere felt a deep sadness. The news caused a wave of shock across the United States. Many citizens could not believe what had happened. They felt a great loss for someone they respected. Public places, homes, and online spaces filled with sorrow. People started to share their feelings. On social media, thousands of messages appeared. People wrote prayers and tributes to honor Charlie Kirk. They wanted to remember his important work and his life. This shared grief connected many. Across different cities, people gathered together. They held special meetings called vigils. At these vigils, people lit candles and prayed. They shared stories about Charlie Kirk and talked about his impact on their lives. These gatherings were a way for communities to come together and show their support. They wanted to honor his memory and express their sadness. Many felt a need to be together during this difficult time. The country began a long process of understanding this sudden and tragic loss. It was a time for people to think about what had happened and what it meant. This sad event touched many hearts and left a lasting impression on the nation. Everyone tried to make sense of the unexpected death of a man who many admired. The shock slowly turned into quiet reflection as the country began to mourn its loss. 3. The man's life. Charlie Kirk was a well-known public figure. He was a conservative activist and the founder of an important organization. This group was called Turning Point USA. It was a non-profit organization that many people knew about. Through his work, Charlie aimed to inspire and educate young people. He often spoke at colleges and universities across the country. He wanted students to think deeply about important ideas. He had a special speaking tour planned called the American Comeback Tour. This tour was going to visit many college campuses. His goal was to share his ideas and talk about important beliefs, especially faith and truth. Religious leaders like Timothy Cardinal Dolan respected his work. Cardinal Dolan called Charlie a missionary and an evangelist, even comparing him to a modern-day St. Paul. He said Charlie understood that the truth will set you free. Charlie had a direct and blunt way of speaking. He presented his views clearly and with conviction. However, he always showed respect for people who had different views. He believed in having honest discussions while also listening to others. This respectful approach, Cardinal Dolan noted, was both virtuous and effective. Outside of his public life, Charlie Kirk was a devoted family man. He was married to Erica Kirk. Erica was once known as Miss Arizona USA. Together, they had 2 young children. Their first child was born in 2022, and their second child arrived in 2024. His family was a central part of his life, bringing him great joy and purpose. They shared a strong bond and supported each other. The night before his final speaking event, Charlie and Erica had dinner with a close friend. This friend was a leader in their faith community. They met to pray for Charlie's upcoming college tour, hoping for its success and, importantly, for his safety. Being a prominent public figure meant Charlie Kirk faced many dangers. He often received threats because of his work and his outspoken views. In the year leading up to his death, he received numerous death threats. These threats were a constant worry for his wife and friends, who feared for his well-being. During their dinner, Erica Kirk suggested a serious safety measure to Charlie. She told him he should start wearing a bulletproof vest when he spoke in public. The faith leader friend also thought about his safety. He mentioned that Charlie could speak from behind bulletproof glass to protect himself. But Charlie did not agree with these suggestions at that time. He replied, "Not yet." He felt confident in his security team. He also believed that extra security measures would be in place at the university event where he was scheduled to speak. Despite the constant threats and worries from his loved ones, Charlie continued his work. He was dedicated to sharing his message and engaging with people across the nation, believing firmly in his mission. 4. A nation mourns. The country felt a deep sadness. People across America showed their feelings in many ways. Online, thousands of people shared prayers and tributes. They wrote kind words about Charlie Kirk. They remembered his work and his ideas. Many people posted messages saying they would miss him. They sent their support to his family. Outside, people gathered in different places. These were called vigils. At these special gatherings, people lit candles. They stood together quietly. They honored Charlie Kirk's memory. These vigils showed how many lives he had touched. They were a way for people to come together. They shared their grief and offered comfort to each other. The lights from the candles shone brightly in the night. Each light represented a life that remembered Charlie Kirk. Important leaders also spoke about Charlie Kirk. They shared their thoughts with the nation. Timothy Cardinal Dolan, a religious leader, talked about him. He said Charlie Kirk was like a modern hero. He called him a missionary. He said Charlie Kirk was an evangelist. He also said he was a hero who knew the truth. Cardinal Dolan spoke about how Charlie Kirk shared his ideas. He said Charlie Kirk had a direct way of speaking, but he always showed respect for other people's views. This was a good way to talk about important things. It was also very effective, he said. Many other leaders also shared their good memories and thoughts about Charlie Kirk. President Donald Trump also reached out to Charlie Kirk's family. He called Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, 2 times. President Trump offered his support. He told Erica to let him know how he could help. Erica Kirk spoke with the president. She told him that her husband loved talking with him. Charlie Kirk used President Trump to talk about many different ideas. Erica asked if this could continue. She asked if she could still talk with the president sometimes. President Trump said, "Of course." This phone call was a moment of comfort for Erica. It showed the support from important people during a very sad time for the family and the country. The nation continued to mourn, finding ways to remember Charlie Kirk and his life. 5. Getting ready for goodbye. The day for remembering Charlie Kirk was close. Preparations began for a very large event. State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, was chosen for the memorial service. This stadium is usually home to a football team. It is a very big place. Even so, special plans were made. Workers prepared the stadium to welcome many thousands of people. The usual capacity of the stadium is about 63,400 seats. For very big events, it can hold up to 73,000 people. For Charlie Kirk's memorial, even more people were expected to come. News reports said that a huge crowd would come. Police in Glendale shared that more than 200,000 people might try to attend the service. This meant that many people would need to stand or watch from outside on large screens. Security was a main concern for everyone's safety. Many police officers and security staff got ready to help. They planned for the large number of cars and buses that would arrive. They also thought about how people would enter and exit the stadium smoothly. Important leaders from the country planned to attend. President Donald Trump was one of them. Vice President J.D. Vance also said he would be there. Both leaders had called Charlie Kirk a friend. Their presence showed how important Charlie Kirk was to many people. Other important guests and public figures were also expected to come and pay their respects. Early in the morning, people started to arrive. They came from all over the country. Many traveled for hours to be there. They stood in long lines outside the stadium. The lines grew longer and longer as the sun rose. People waited patiently for their turn to enter. They wanted to be part of this special day and to honor Charlie Kirk's life. They wanted to say goodbye to a man they admired. The atmosphere was quiet and serious. People talked in low voices. Some held flowers. Others carried signs with messages of love and sadness. It was clear that this would be a day of deep reflection and shared grief. Everyone was getting ready for a final goodbye. 6. The big service. The day of the big memorial service arrived. It was held at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Many thousands of people came to remember Charlie Kirk. The stadium was very large. It could hold more than 63,400 people. For special events, it could hold up to 73,000. Today, it was filled with people who wanted to say goodbye. People had lined up for many hours to get inside. They came from different places. They all felt sad about Charlie Kirk. He had been a conservative activist and the founder of an organization called Turning Point USA. His death was a big shock to the country. Now everyone gathered to honor his life and his work. Important leaders were also there. President Donald Trump was expected to attend. Vice President J.D. Vance was also planning to be present. Both of them had called Charlie Kirk a friend. Their presence showed how important Charlie Kirk was to many people in the nation. The atmosphere was serious but also full of respect. The service began. Quiet music played. People looked at a big screen that showed pictures of Charlie Kirk. They saw him with his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children. Many people felt a deep sadness, but they also felt a sense of purpose, remembering the good things Charlie Kirk had done. Then powerful speeches started. Friends spoke about his kindness and strong beliefs. Family members shared personal stories. They talked about his life as a husband and a father. National leaders spoke about his work and his ideas. They talked about his love for his country. The words were strong and clear. They reminded everyone about his message. The event was more than just a memorial. It became a moment for the whole country to think. People reflected on Charlie Kirk's life. They thought about the ideas he stood for. It was a time to remember what he taught about faith and truth. The stadium, usually full of cheering fans, was now a place for quiet thought and shared sorrow. It was a day when many people came together, even with different views, to honor one man's life and legacy. 7. What he left behind. After the large memorial service, many people began to think deeply about Charlie Kirk's life. They wondered about the meaning of his work. What kind of mark did he leave on the world? His passing made people across the country reflect on important ideas. The sadness of the event turned into a time for looking at his lasting impact. People started to talk about the lessons from his journey and what he stood for during his time. His life, though ended too soon, offered much to consider for the future. Religious leaders spoke about his impact. Timothy Cardinal Dolan, a well-known leader from New York, shared his thoughts. He called Charlie Kirk a modern hero for young people. Cardinal Dolan compared him to Saint Paul, an important figure from the Bible. Saint Paul was known for sharing his beliefs with many people. Cardinal Dolan saw Charlie Kirk as a missionary and an evangelist. He believed Charlie helped people find truth. These words showed how important Charlie's work was to many in the faith community. They saw him as a guide for spiritual awakening, especially for the younger generation. Cardinal Dolan said Charlie Kirk understood a key idea: that truth can make people free. Even though Charlie spoke very directly, he always showed respect for different opinions. He talked about difficult topics, but he did it in a way that was good. This respectful approach was not only kind, but it also helped his message reach more people. Dolan learned more about Charlie's strong faith after his death. This faith was a big part of who Charlie was and what he did. It shaped his public speaking and his personal actions, making his message powerful and clear. Charlie Kirk's story began a new conversation. It made many people, especially young ones, think about faith and truth in their own lives. His efforts encouraged them to consider their beliefs and values. He taught a lesson about standing up for what you believe in, but he also showed the importance of doing so with respect for others. This lesson is important for a new generation growing up in a country with many different ideas. His work will help guide young people as they learn to share their own thoughts and feelings in a world that is often divided. His wife, Erica, also spoke about his faith. She said that when she saw him in the hospital, he had a calm, half-smile. She felt he looked happy, as if Jesus had saved him. She believed he blinked and then was in heaven. This personal view showed how central his faith was to his life and how he faced the end of it. His work and his strong beliefs will continue to inspire many for years to come. He left behind a powerful message for everyone to consider, a message of faith, truth, and respectful discussion for the nation. 8. Looking to the future. Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, now faced a new path in her life. She had 2 young children born in 2022 and 2024. Life for them would be very different without their father and husband. It would be a time of learning and growing. President Donald Trump had called Erica 2 times. He offered help and support to her and the family. Erica told him that Charlie loved talking with him. She asked if she could continue these talks with the president, and he agreed. This showed that Erica would not be alone. She had strong support. She would need to be strong for her children and for herself as they moved ahead. The future for them was uncertain, but they had love and support. Charlie Kirk was the founder of Turning Point USA. This was a well-known organization. Now it needed to find its way without its leader. The work he started was important to many people across the country. Turning Point USA worked to share its ideas with young students. Many people believed deeply in its mission. Other leaders would need to step forward to guide the organization. They would carry on Charlie's vision for the future. The organization would continue to hold events and speak about its goals. It would be a big challenge, but the foundation Charlie built was strong. His work and his message would live on through the people who believed in it. The message of his organization would still be heard across the country. Cardinal Dolan, an important religious leader, spoke about Charlie Kirk's life. He said that Charlie had a very direct way of speaking, But even with his strong style, he always showed respect for other people's views. This was a very important lesson for everyone in the country. Even when people have different ideas, they can still be respectful to each other. This helps to bring people together instead of pushing them apart. Charlie believed in finding the truth. He showed that you could do this while still being kind and understanding. This lesson was important for a country that sometimes felt very divided. It taught that listening and respecting others makes all discussions better. The country looked to the future after this sad event. Charlie Kirk's story left many questions for the nation. How would his family grow and heal? How would his organization continue its work without him? What lasting lessons would the nation take from his life and his passing? The answer lies in moving forward with his core message. It was a message of faith, seeking truth, and showing respect. People hoped that his life would inspire more understanding among citizens. They hoped it would help people talk to each other in a better way. The future would be built on remembering his impact. It would be a future where people tried to listen, to learn, and to respect each other, even with very different ideas.